Everybody, guess what? We're live. It's Friday. I love it on Friday mornings when we get to do a chat. I'm here with Allie Colleen. How's it going this morning?
Hi, I'm very well. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. We were just chatting about I finally got my kids all set on their Zoom. Actually, today's a self-paced day, so that kind of works out a little bit.
Both my sisters have kids in Oklahoma, and so I've been like keeping up with that a little bit, but I cannot imagine.
Yeah. We thought taking them to school and keeping up with activities was stressful. I feel like this is a whole other level.
Yeah.
I've been doing this with my coworkers. I've been saying, giving them lunch lady stories, like, because for lunch, and there always ends up some mishap. Somebody, breaks something,
Right.
spills something. I don't know.
All the homeschool moms are like, bro, we're so used to this.
I know.
We got this down.
I actually have been shopping for, looking for, which unbelievable hard to find, tall glasses because they've broken all of my glasses.
Eee. Got a bunch of savages at your house.
I know, I'm telling you. It's always something. Tell me what life has been like for you during COVID since I've told you all my tales here.
Man, it's just been like, I feel like one drawn out afternoon. I just feel like I've been sitting in this chair since April and like waiting on something to do. We had every single weekend booked out from like April 10th like through December this year, and we were very excited, and all new places to play, all things like that. And I think we've had 2 shows this year.
Yeah.
Maybe, which is the case for everybody who does music and a lot of other people going into work too. So nothing too crazy, just trying to stay healthy, trying to stay home. I got sick for a little while. I was very lucky, I had a very mild case, so it wasn't bad for me.
Yes, I heard about that. So you're doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I had like one of my last Zooms with my doctor yesterday, and she was finally like, I think we're good. Like, I think we're fine, because there was just some vocal stuff that like came out of mine. Like, I was very lucky. I just slept for like 4 days, but did that, got that over with. That was about a month ago or so, and really just been working. I feel like the last 3 or 4 weeks we've really started writing again, which has been really, really great.
Yeah.
I feel like the slowest person in the writing room right now, though. I'm just like, I don't know how to do things anymore, but life goes on and you just figure it out.
Yeah. So you talk about writing. How are you doing that? Are you doing it like via Zoom? Or?
I am not doing the Zoom writes. I waited so long to get back into it so I could do it in person. I had 2 Zoom writes over this quarantine so far, and they just were so, not even that they were awkward or uncomfortable. It was just really hard to like get moving and like that kind of thing between like me picking up a guitar or them and us being like, oh, okay, yeah, you play. And like that kind of thing. I will say my 2 Zoom writes I did were writes that I'd never met them before. And that was why we did Zoom writes. Otherwise I just would have been like, I see you all the time. We'll cancel till the world comes back around kind of thing.
Right.
So my 2 Zoom writes, I feel like were a little uncomfortable because we'd never met. We were just trying to get the hang of it, and that kind of thing. But I've been writing in person the last couple of weeks. And that's been really awesome just to be around people.
Does that bring back a little bit of normalcy, like being able to meet with people in person and write?
Yeah, it's really nice because my schedule hasn't, obviously we're not on the road anymore, so like weekends are much different. But, Monday through Thursday is still just, if I'm not just doing like home stuff and taking care of like everything that everyone else in the world has to also do, and like that kind of thing, then I'm really just writing. That's really what I do during a week is just write songs. So just to have that back really brings my life kind of back into normalcy and gets me a good routine and those kinds of things.
Yeah. I was listening to some of the things you've been putting out on social media. So it looks like you've had a few projects, like your little background behind you there. I heard you said you built.
Yes, my husband and I, 100% my husband, not even me, built this wall. We had this like beautiful like old barn in our back pasture that was just kind of falling apart and didn't know what to do with it. So we wanted to bring some of it in here. It is not finished. We've got that far. We ran out of wood. We're so close. We're so close, but we ran out of wood.
You are so close.
But yeah, I just been doing like fun DIY projects that didn't turn out to be very fun. And all those kinds of quarantine things that everybody else got into. I did all those things.
Yeah, that kind of makes me feel better that you showed me that, because I have so many things like that in my house that it's so close.
Oh yeah, it's just literally, you can just look around. It's just like half finished project after project. And it's just like, this is fine. This is fine.
So have you been cooking? Have you taken up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have gained the COVID-19 for sure.
Oh.
No, we've enjoyed it. We've actually done really well this time. I guess having so much time off, he and I have been working really hard together, like working out wise and stuff like that. But we cook a lot now, which is nice because we don't usually get to do that when we're on the road. And we cook a lot. We've just been experimenting with random things because man, chicken gets old.
Yeah.
Chicken gets old, So we've been playing with a lot of different stuff and I don't know, just faking it till we make it, I guess.
Right. I did see that was this around the beginning of quarantine? You were on Trisha's
Yeah.
show.
Yes, we got to do Trisha's show, and it was a Father's Day episode. So
Okay.
whenever Father's Day is, I guess June.
Okay. June. Yeah. Sam already lost track. Yeah.
Yeah. So and we filmed that a long time ago. So it seems like it was even longer ago, that we did it. But I got to be on that with her, and we made. If you got to watch it, my family, they don't eat fish or anything really, but we have we called it cowboy or redneck sushi back home, where it's just steak and avocado as a sushi roll kind of thing. And so Trisha and I tried to make that on the show, which has then led to about 9 weeks now of my husband and I making different kind of egg rolls at home.
Oh,
that's been really fun.
So you got a little bit inspired by that show then.
I got really inspired. It was fun. So that was really fun. We got to show a little showcase of a song that we have coming out, hopefully for kind of a fall project called Wildflower that Trish and I got to sing together on the cooking show, and that was really, really special. And those kinds of things. So we've been really trying to make moves and those kinds of things. And as far as projects go, we hit the studio pretty hard at the beginning of quarantine. And that was really nice just to have something to do and spend your time with.
Right. Speaking of that, you kind of had some birthday releases, so to speak, because your birthday was in July. Let's talk about that.
I did. My birthday's in July, the end of July. I'm a Leo, so I'm July 28th. And I just love birthdays. I always have. Since I was a kid, my family's made huge deals out of birthdays. We love birthdays. And so we knew that we had this collection to release. We didn't know what to do with it. And having a radio single out right now, we really didn't know what to do with it. And so we just decided for my birthday that we would just kind of give out a gift. And we promoted this song called Best Friend, and which is a song that I've been playing in my live set for about 3 years. We wrote it in 2018. And it's just this really sweet love song that I felt like country music really needed, and just kind of filled that gap that was that heartbreak that you endure, when your best friend and you don't work out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so we were promoting this song all along, knowing that on the day that it came out, it would come out with a second song. We call it Best Friend Side B. The artwork looks like a vinyl. It's because they go hand in hand. And so this new song called Road You Take came out with Best Friend, and they're just kind of like a concept collection. Best Friend is obviously the heartbreak, the instance where it went bad and all those kinds of things. And then my situation is I'm gonna see her for the rest of my life. We just have a situation in our family where it's gonna happen. And so I got to see her a couple months ago, and it wasn't magical, but it was special. And so Road You Take is just kind of like where I'm at with it now. And it's just a beautiful song. And so that was just a really special personal project that we put out on my birthday that we're very proud of.
Both those songs kind of make it like a full circle. It's like the upset and the heartbreak, and then the readjustment. And then what's after that? What's next?
I don't know what's after it. I don't know if I have a really hard time personality-wise, leaving relationships in the past. That's that's one of my biggest things that I battle with is I'll go back to people like that, over and over and over again. So I feel like the rest of my life will be a battle with this relationship on whether it's supposed to be in my life or not. But in the sense that they go hand in hand, you're absolutely right. I don't know if I will ever be able to, have a concept album. If I did, would anyone listen to it? It's 2020. Does anyone listen to 12 songs? Probably not.
Yeah.
So we took our chance when we had it and just released a concept collection of those 2 songs. So we're very excited about it. It's been doing well. It's been interesting trying to promote music during a quarantine as well when you're not out playing it as well. So
so as a newer artist, because how is that working for you? I see a lot on social media. I feel like you are really trying to engage with your fans, which your fans love that.
I'm very present on like Instagram specifically.
Yeah.
Facebook and Twitter, you're just always going to get my reposts from Instagram. I'm not very good at that. And I
Yeah.
love the lives, but I'm not very good at promoting them. My lives usually happen on a Tuesday when I wake up that morning and look at my schedule. I don't know if you're that way, but I don't know what I'm doing until the day comes. You know what I mean? Like I'll look before I go to bed so I can set an alarm. That's it. I don't ever know until it's happening. But typically on like Tuesdays or Wednesdays, I'll be like, oh man, I don't have anything tonight. All right, we'll do a live. You know, so I'm really bad at like planning them and doing them out. But as far as social media goes, I really, really love being engaged with people. And I'm just a worker. I love to work and I love to be doing things. And right now, I'll be honest, I don't have a clue what to do. So I'm literally just thinking about content all day. I'm just trying to think of like things to do. I don't ever practice without just having a phone out recording me, which has been really interesting on like how it's weighed on just how I practice and do things, you know, like in my personal time. But we've tried to be really engaging on social media during this time because, you know, I feel like as an artist, new artist, old artist, wherever you're at, you're always afraid of being forgotten.
Yeah.
So I feel like we've been working really hard to just stay relevant in people's lives on social media.
Yeah. I noticed also you've been on TikTok. You've been in a few of those.
We've been trying to do TikToks. I prefer the Reels on
Yes,
Instagram.
that just came out in case people don't know.
The Reels only because I have a decent following on Instagram, so my Reels do good. Nobody follows me on TikTok, so all my engagements look like crap, and I get insecure. So I try to stay away from TikTok. I can't find my niche. I made an egg sandwich once, and it got like 700,000 views. And other than that, no one watches my stuff. I can't figure out TikTok. I can't. That is not a viral moment for me. It's not happening.
It's a very interesting platform. I gotta say, I've learned a lot. Like I've been following some people that give like crazy little like tips on weird things that you didn't even think about. But yeah,
I've been starting to read about it. But it's so interesting. You know, you're always just so insecure about yourself. So I always see stuff and I'm like, why would I redo this video that like 12,000 people have already done? But then I see the same video over and over on my For You page, and I'm liking all of them. I'm like, these are funny. I like them. So I don't know. I just can't get. I'm a huge TikTok consumer, but not really like a person on TikTok.
Yeah, it's very interesting how that kind of exploded during quarantine, right? I want to talk about how you got started in music. You said I've heard you say that you started playing when you were really young. And you had one spot that you used to play a lot at in high school, which I think is so fun. Tell me about that story.
I did. So my parents gave me my first guitar when I was a kid. I was probably 9 or 10 years old, and I just stared at it for a long time. It was not easy for me. It did not come easy. It was so tough, and I knew I loved to sing, so that's what I focused on. I sang literally probably 6 to 8 hours a week since I was like 8 years old, and I just loved singing. And so guitar came much later. I was probably 14 or 15, but at that time, you know, I got my first job when I was 15 and I worked summers and those kinds of things. And when I found out that there was a place in town where I could play music every night, I was blown away. I was so excited. I started off as a waitress there. So I was a waitress at this place called Trails End Barbecue in Owasso, Oklahoma. And Owasso means Trails End. It's where the Trail of Tears ended.
Okay.
And so it's just this really special little town that I come from, and it's not that small. But I played at Trails End. I sat usually on, I want to say Friday nights. There was a time when I was doing Fridays and Saturdays, but I played, they were only open until 8. So I played 5 to 8.
Okay.
I played 5 to 8 every Friday night. And then they didn't have like a speaker system or like a microphone or anything like that. So I just sat next to the saddles in the back corner of the restaurant and just played for 3 hours every week. And I loved it. And so I would waitress during the weeks and then I would sing on the weekends. And it was just such a place to like grow your chops and like learn that like just because you're playing doesn't mean someone wants to listen to you. Right. You know, God help the man that literally just came in for a pork sandwich. Like he's not worried about me, you know? And so that was a really special way to just learn, especially coming here to the Nashville scene and starting to play on Broadway and downtown. It can be really, really frustrating when you're just sitting there playing for 3 or 4 hours straight and the same table hasn't even looked at you once. You know what I mean? You just learn as an entertainer that there are those shows, hopefully one day, where people just come for me, right? That's the point. Yeah. That's the exciting part. I'm on the ticket.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm not there yet. I'm just playing in a place where someone happened to be. You know what I mean? So I feel like that was a really special way for me to grow confidence as like a young woman playing music, but still be in such a safe place like my hometown. You know, and so
Right.
that was really special for me and really grew me and really taught me a lot about sometimes being background music and sometimes being more than that. And so that was special.
So tell me about your playlist. Was there one song that you had to play every weekend? You're like, hey, I'm really going to get this one down.
Yeah, every week there I would add new ones, and that kind of thing. But it was a lot of, it really taught me too about like the commercial set that you need to have, right? So my set when I was 15 was all songs that I loved. They were just songs that I liked because I sang them well because I liked them.
Yeah.
It wasn't until Nashville really where I learned like that there's a certain commercial set list to have. That you might hate every song on it, but that's the way to do it. And there's a business to that. And so that was really interesting to learn when I moved here. But my set list back home was like almost the entire Red album from Taylor Swift.
Oh.
And like Scotty McCreery, and I played a lot of Dixie Chicks, and I played a lot of worship music. It was like a little the owner of the barbecue shop was just had really strong faith, and he was always like, hey, those worship songs are my favorite, so just sprinkle them in. So I would cover a lot of like Elevation Church and worship and those kinds of things there as well. And it was literally just a learning experience, the whole thing. And it was awesome.
Well, that's a great groundwork, like you said, for coming to Nashville. So I'm curious, what is the song you have to play if you're playing on Broadway? What do you have to be able to play?
Stuff like Wagon Wheel, or like you'll play Wagon Wheel. If you play 4 hours, the chance of getting a requested Wagon Wheel is probably 7 to 8 times.
Wow.
Request. So you will play Wagon Wheel 7 to 8 times during your set. Just like, I mean, obviously, like Friends in Low Places is a huge one. If you're playing at Old Red, you're going to get all the Blake Shelton covers. If you're playing at Whiskey Bent, everyone wants to hear Dierks Bentley. You know, like those kinds of things. I feel like it's really entered into an interesting atmosphere now, having all the bars downtown that are celebrity bars. You know, like Luke Sushi Bar and Jason Aldean's and all those things. Yeah. So obviously you'll get those. Sometimes people like to go and find artist beef, right? So like, they'll find 2 artists that don't like each other, and they'll go into Blake Shelton's bar and just request. I don't even know if Blake Shelton doesn't like anybody, but they'll request that person. You know, like it's really interesting. And you can play a whole 4-hour set downtown just looking at your phone. You know, like a lot of us will just play songs we've never heard and just figure it out.
Yeah.
And so it's really interesting dynamic as far as the downtown sets compared to anywhere else.
Yeah, that's a sign of a good musician that you can look at your phone and play whatever.
Yeah. There's apps. There's tons of apps out there that literally it's basically like karaoke for a guitar player. It just does it. It'll scroll for you, and you sit there and play it. And it's really great in the sense that you can take almost any request.
Yeah.
Really hard to engage while you're looking at your phone as well. You know.
Yeah.
Goods and bads.
Talking about your guitars, you give them names. I love this. Tell me about the names of your guitars.
Oh, it's so funny. We actually just hit 50,000 followers on Facebook, and we decided that we would go back in time. I promise this answers your question. We would go back on our Facebook analytics, and we would find those people that had a top fan badge consistently for a year. Out of 50,000 people, there were 32 of them.
Wow.
I think about 14 people actually responded because I don't know if they knew if it was real or not. But anyway, I've been doing these Zoom nights with probably 5 to 7 people at a time where we just meet and we Zoom, and there'll be like 10 of us on here and we all get to talk. One lady the other night asked me if I would introduce her to all of my guitars. And my sweet during this time, he can't play video games or anything because I'm like in the living room and being loud. So he like instantly just perks up and starts running and getting them. And I was like, we could just tell her. But I showed this woman every guitar that I have and showed her all of their names the other day and told her the story behind it. So I love that you asked that. But I think the most well-known one is Betsy. Betsy's my girl that I've traveled with for the last year. She's got a huge hole in her. She's on, I think, our single artwork cover for Ain't the Only Hell, our single that's out. And I'm just a wonky person. I feel like I name everything, you know, like my car's got a name, my guitars have a name, all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, maybe it was because I was so young when I started playing, but my first guitar, his name was Gavin. And then I had Charlotte, and then I had Jasper, and then Electric is Georgia. Like they just all have these names from where they come from. And that kind of thing. And so they're all really special to me. My newest guitar, we retired Betsy because she's got that big old hole in her. So my newest guitar is a Maton, which is an Australian guitar. So I named her Bendy after Steve Irwin.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So me and Bendy are traveling the world right now together, which is pretty exciting.
Bendy.
And so, so I travel with Bendy, and I just love him. Because I've never played with a band before. It's always just been me and my guitar. So it's almost like gives me some kind of camaraderie with my guitars that it's not just me up there. It might be weird, but that's kind of where it all came from. And so me and Betsy get to take the stage together, and I'm not alone, And and Betsy's doing more work than I am, like without a guitar, I wouldn't sound like much. So it's always made sense to me.
I love that. You did mention your latest single that's out. Before we go, let's talk about that real quick. I love this song, by the way.
Thank you. It's for the mamas.
I know.
It's funny. I was actually looking at the hat designs this morning, and we went with kind of like the whole first verse just talks about this photograph of my mama, and I've seen this photograph a million times in my life. I don't know what hit me different this most recent time, but I saw it, and I just saw that woman that mama kind of left behind to become a mom. Her crazy little rebel side and all that stuff, and my sisters, as I mentioned earlier, I've got to watch them become moms in the last couple of years, and literally just losing just a little bit of themselves to put that mom hat on, and change and grow as we all do. And so this song's just all about mamas and kind of the people they leave behind, and ultimately that I am the hell-raising woman I am because my mom was a hell-raising woman. I've got two amazing moms that just know what they want and go and get it. They're just completely amazing women, and I think I'm pretty awesome too as a result. And I love my mom. So it all goes out to moms. But we were looking at the hats this morning and looking at kind of like a pinup girl on a lawnmower kind of vibe, which is exactly what the photo was. It was my mama on a lawnmower in a bikini, just looking like a babe with her little Ace Hardware gardening thing on, and was awesome. But we were looking at the hats this morning, and they're a little risque. I'm excited about it. I feel like we chose a weird girl to put on a lawnmower, but I'm excited about it.
I love it. See, that's what I like, because I feel like you kind of push the edges a little bit, make us think a little bit different.
Yeah,
which is all great.
Songwriting's for, I love songwriting, and there's got to be some substance in it, and I just feel like you can get a lot from Ain't the Only Hell My Mama Raised, while also just having a good time. Like, it's a feel good song, it's a good track, all those kinds of things. So we're very proud of that release and very proud of the song, and all for the moms.
Yeah, it's great storytelling. I feel like you're a great storyteller, and I feel like if you listen to the lyrics and the way that you perform them, you can really hear the song.
Yeah, thank you. I hope so. I hope that was achieved. So thank you very much.
Yeah, you guys go check it out. Tell everybody where they can find your music. You got to play that song because it's Friday, and I know all the mamas are like, "Woo!"
All you mamas trying to figure out what's going on. Go check it out. So it's called Ain't the Only Hell My Mama Raised. I've also got 2 new singles out that we talked about earlier, Best Friend and Road You Take. You guys can listen to those songs anywhere you listen to music. YouTube, Spotify, Instagram. It's on all those kind of music things, as well as obviously Spotify and iTunes and Amazon and all of those, and Pandora and anywhere you would listen to music. And then as far as my socials go, everything is Allie Colleen Music. My website's alliecolleenmusic.com. You can keep up with merch and tour schedules if there should ever be one, and all kinds of things like that.
Hopefully soon. Yeah. I'm having faith. We're gonna see schedules.
Yeah, we gotta speak it into existence.
That's right. Right. All right, you guys go check it out. Thanks for joining me this morning. It's been great to start my Friday off with you. And you guys go check it out. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye.
Thanks, Donna.